Well, good evening, race fans. I'm currently getting everything set up here, so hold tight with me as I get everything squared away. But welcome aboard here tonight to Intensity Broadcasting's coverage of the SCSRA Dev Sporting Cards Cup Series. And it is paying honors to Tammy Butchino, as it is the Tammy Butchino Memorial Cup Series this year for season number 12. We're here tonight at Daytona for the Daytona 250 with looks like a very fresh field of 41 cars lined up and getting ready to make do with a very fierce field of competition here tonight. So should be a good race. The duel was ecstatic. So we got treated to a superb finish at the duel just last week. The winner was none other than Christopher Bishop, who came around last lap to really get the job done in that duel. So he's going to have the advantage of starting second row to the pole setters behind the qualified pole setter, Cameron Craighead and Matt Parasini. Currently in practice right now, so just getting everything settled in for the long haul here tonight. There will be a stage break, I do believe, at lap 35. Got a new phone, so I'm still trying to get everything all sorted and figured out with my new phone. I'm so sorry, folks. I'm gonna let this this practice session get me all ready for the qualifying session here shortly. So we'll try to do some pre-race interviews with a couple of the drivers here tonight as they do a couple extra pace laps to start the race here today. And as always, here within the last few minutes of practice, like to give a shout out to the sponsors that make this all happen here with Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, first and foremost, we wouldn't be here without support from those that are driving in the series here tonight. Dev Sports Cards, primary partner of the SCSRA and a consistent supporter of the league. Their eBay store has fresh batch of auctions closing soon, from star rookies to vintage chase cards, plus 25% combined shipping on qualifying orders. If you want to support the people who support sim racing, check out Dev Sports Cards on eBay before those listings expire. And then, of course, with our other very superb supporter here in the series, Butt Kicker, bringing a whole new dimension to immersive entertainment. Butt Kicker has pioneered tactile feedback technology that lets you feel the action. Whether you're behind the wheel in a sim rig, watching a blockbuster in your home theater, or in the studio dialing in the low end. With 2 decades of industry leadership, their haptic transducers convert audio signals into physical vibration, turning sounds into sensations. If you've ever wished you could feel that racing shift, explosion, or bass drop, Butt Kicker makes it real. And then in racing, everyone prepares for the competitors they can see, but one of the toughest opponents a driver can face never shows up on the timing screen. The hidden opponent is tackling the mental health battle inside the helmet, educating athletes, supporting teams, and giving the racing community language, tools, and leadership to talk about what usually stays silent. Because when drivers confront the hidden opponent, it doesn't just make them faster, it makes the whole garage stronger. Whether you're watching here tonight from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, the links down below if you want to learn more about our supporters of Intensity Broadcasting. So far, fastest in practice, it is Josh Hall at the top of the board. We've been following the number 16 of David Hartney here in the Greg Biffle tribute car. Always love seeing the tribute schemes. We're going to probably see plenty of those tribute schemes all year long. Definitely excited to see those Darlington, Roush Fenway, Keselowski cars. Next race on the calendar at Darlington, that's going to be tons of fun. And for me, it's going to be hard not to save my money because I'll definitely want to buy one of those in a 1/24th scale. So obviously a brand new season ahead of us here. We have some familiar names. We have some new names. We have a lot of rookie standouts here in 2026 season 12. Currently I think there was at least 41 cars signed up to try and make the event here. We only have in right now, it looks like 27, which it's a healthy field no matter what. Even if we don't get more than 27, if they're waiting to show up right until the minute, that's right, we don't have qualifying. I kind of forgot that with the duels, we don't have qualifying, obviously. So we're going to get rolling right into the race after this practice session, which is why they're going to do some extra pace laps, which will give us time to dial them up in the car, do some pre-race interviews with a couple drivers I have hand-picked here tonight. 30 seconds left here. And it looks like 27 cars, at least for now, confirmed to be making the start. Starting. Alrighty, so 27 cars here in the field tonight, and it looks like starting lineup looks a little bit something like this. Starting at the back there, you got Colin Hoffman, Carlton Charles, Holden Wheeler, Vince Brent, Charles Stevens Jr., Garrett Walden, Jeffrey Goodpaster, Austin Fassett, Lauren Vincent, Ryan Hufford, Sharn Hill. There's quite a few familiar names there in the back half of the field. And then next row up, you've got Samuel Green and Ryan Gomes with Josh Hall and Cale Thorpe just ahead of that. Corey Bunch starting in 12th, Keith Resmondo in 11th, Nicholas Waldhorn, David Hartney, BJ Holt, Dana Ryan, Teddy Romanowski, Devin Butchino, Matt Bands, Christopher Bishop, Matt Pericini, and Cameron Craighead. So I'm going to go ahead and dial up our pole setter here tonight. Go ahead and grab him and bring him into the booth. Actually, on the fly here, I'm going to have to switch it up a little bit. We'll go ahead and interview your dual winner, Christopher Bishop. So, Jacob in the booth here. Do you copy, Christopher?
Yes, I do. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Well, I was going to go ahead and interview the guy that won the duel last week. So how you feel rolling into the main event here tonight?
Well, I definitely feel good. I feel the pressure on my shoulders, but I definitely feel great about it. I think it's going to be a great race, great group of guys out here. I think it's going to be a great day overall.
Are you very confident with Daytona? Is this kind of one of those tracks you like coming back to, or what about Daytona is it for you?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Daytona. I like Daytona a lot. I've done a lot of races here at Daytona, and I feel like I'm usually towards the front of that pack. I can usually, especially in these next-gen cars, I can definitely put myself in a place to be able to do that. As you saw last week, I was able to put myself in a place to be able to finish the race first. And I feel like tonight I'd have the same opportunity to do that, and I'm excited to do it again.
Well, heck yeah. Best of luck tonight, and we'll hopefully hear from you later.
All right, thank you. I hope so, too.
The extended pace laps here. We're going to go ahead and also interview your one of your podium finishers from the duel, Devin Butchino. Jacob in the booth. Do you copy, Devin?
Yeah, I got you, brother. What's going on?
Well, just figured I'd check in with a couple of the drivers that came out really looking good from that duel. How do you feel here tonight?
Better than I normally do at these kinds of tracks. I mean, 12 seasons, and that's 24 laps. It's the most laps I've ever led in a super speedway. So I definitely learned a lot, which is good, especially since we haven't raced since August. Or I haven't, I should say. But track position's so important. Normally I fall to the back, but starting row 3 here, we're just going to try and stay up front all race because I don't want to try driving through it again. So we'll see how good we can do with that.
Well, best of luck, and thanks for the time. Hopefully we can hear from you after.
Yeah, thank you as well, brother. I appreciate it.
Well, and we'll go ahead and let them get settled and sorted. Don't want to interrupt anyone else as they're getting ready to put their mindset in the race space. Pace car's pulling off here, and it's going to be Craighead and Pericini leading them to the start here today. As previously mentioned, there will be a stage break here today. That stage break comes at lap 20 and lap 50. So it's a two-stager here tonight, the Daytona 250. Definitely just settle in here. You don't want to go too hard, too fast, and get yourself in a mistake. So the best thing to do, just kind of get settled in for these first few laps and make the most of it. As they come roaring around there. A little bit of separation at the front of the field as you've got a 4-car single line breakaway. Matt Parasini finds himself in the lead there. Second place is Matt Vance. And your pole sitter, Cameron Craighead, back to third. One slight omission from the field here tonight. Not seeing your defending champion. Last season champion Jesse Whittington missed the duel, and it seems like maybe not able to make the show here tonight either. But regardless, it's only the first race of the season, and if you miss one race, it's not the end of the world. I'm sure if he's still going to be competing in the competition this year, come back and even miss this race if you had to. Wow, single line breakaway at the front here, now about 9 cars deep. The outside line not stabilized at all as they're actually dropping further and further backwards. Still up front right now, Matt Parasini doing one heck of a job holding off the line behind him. Looks like it's getting to be almost 3 wide in the back half there. This could get a little bit nasty. The 16 of David Hartney quit on the inside line, and now he's trying to get around the outside to see where it'll carry him. Now I think the outside line's starting to wake up a little bit here. They're just in winter hibernation as spring is right around the corner. That outside line now moving up into the top 5 perhaps. The 16 of Hartney taking full advantage of the push on the outside here. Still have not been able to separate your top 3 there. They've pretty much been nose to tail for the last 5 laps. And the one's going to quit. He's going to cut line and go the high side. Craighead, your pole setter, the number 1 car. It's going to be easy to remember who was pole position with the number 1 car. And here he is going around the outside of Parasini to try and take the lead here. Hartney with a great run. He's going to be fighting for the lead before long as well. And Parasini just kind of trying to hold on to what he's got. That outside line has kind of shrunk, though, as there's only 4 cars. And that was enough to get 2 of them to the front. As Cameron Craighead reclaims the lead with number 16 of David Hartney jumping into second there. Matt Parasini, a very grizzled veteran here in the series. We saw him go down to the Final 4 last year. And he's probably just taking a chill pill at the moment, not trying to get all the laps led here today. Although those laps led definitely helps for some bonus points. Cameron Craighead, pretty sure a rookie here in the series. We haven't heard or seen much from him. Kind of taking the field by storm, it looks like. It's getting tight up here. I can only imagine that they might be trying to set themselves up for the stage end. The stage end coming up at lap 20. You want to win that stage, obviously, and get those bonus points, especially with the brand new point system this year where they have abolished the playoff format. The SCSRA has adopted the chase format, akin to what Real Life Series has reclaimed for their point system. So it definitely changes the prospect, the approach to every race a little bit different. As these drivers now, instead of racing for a win and you're in to the playoffs, you're gonna be racing for points, and you want to get all the points you can. Obviously you want to win. That ain't, it hasn't diminished the factor of winning a race. Quite the opposite, actually, as it has only heightened the factor of winning races a little bit more. And so the more you can win, the more points you rack up, and the better it's all going to be at the end of the season when it comes down to the championship crowning race. Here we go, battle for the lead. That is the 16 of Hartney. Do it for Dale, be like Biff, the 16 going to the front. Cameron Craighead, though, he's stuck on the outside, dropping backwards here. He does have good drafting partner in the 72 of Bands, but only so much you can do when you get to that outside line. Meanwhile, Christopher Bishop now settles his way up into third. And unfortunately, it looks like the number 5 of Sharon Hill off the pace, or perhaps made an unscheduled pit stop. But he's about to go a lap down here, right ahead of your leaders. Back to about a 6-car breakaway, single file on the inside line here. Lap traffic's gonna kind of throw him a bit of a curveball here on lap 11. They probably didn't anticipate having to deal with lap traffic this early. They're working their way around the 5 of Sharon Hill there pretty readily. And it looks like Sharon's actually gonna settle into the main draft here and maybe try to fight for one of his laps, for the lap that he lost back. So at the moment, as I am going to have to relearn all the teams this year. Oh, no. Hartney is a part of Neon Racing, it looks like, or at least in the garage with the crew there for Neon Racing. So folks, yeah, I'm sorry for any technical difficulties. I am at the helm of what I've got here. I should have fiber optic in maybe another 6 months to a year, so that could help significantly with the internet, as the internet I currently have can be kind of faulty, kind of choppy, but well, you only get what you get sometimes. Thanks for all of you staying tuned in through those technical difficulties. I am sorry, and we're soldiering on here. Now it's 5 laps to the end of stage, and you kind of feel the electricity in the field as they're trying to get themselves put in a better position to fight for that stage win. Coming around for lap 16. Even Sharn Hill, he's still trying to fight to get his lap back here. So if it works out, he's either going to get the lucky dog or not have to worry about it if he can get up to the lead. There is another lap car coming around the corner here, and that looks like the 81 of Josh Hall. So Sharn Hill's going to have a little bit of competition for that lucky dog spot. Josh Hall stays high. The 16 and the 24 come charging by. And that lucky dog spot looks like Sharn Hill's going to be able to get around the 81. And it's not going to be for much drama there as the 81's kind of falling way back. Great action at the front of the field here. Matt Perezzini not laying down. He wants to try and fight for the stage win here. But the 16 is doing a masterful job holding off the charges from the number 24. Christopher Bishop in the background, of course, your dual winner. He's probably hoping he can try to stay perfect here, win the duel, win the stage, and maybe even stage 2, and then maybe even the race. So don't sleep on that 15. He could very well still find a way to get up there for the stage win here. Well, just like that, though, the outside line is woke up again. That is the 60 of Jeffrey Goodpaster in the number 60 Napa entry there. He's carrying that momentum. Christopher Bishop thought about trying to cut out, but with no help behind him, it doesn't look like he's going to get out of line very easily here. Goodpaster now in a position to fight. And the good thing for him, that 5 car behind him, yeah, he's not fighting for a stage win here. He's fighting for his lap back. So I don't anticipate the 5 would be very aggressive to pass the 60, but you never know, maybe. And when it says lap 20, that means we'll run one more lap to the conclusion of the stage. So it kind of falls on the completion of lap 20. Right now they're about to complete lap 19 and start lap 20. So just pretend there's a white-green for the last lap before the stage checkers. And so far the 16's still doing a great job holding the runs behind him. That outside line definitely fell apart rapidly. And if it's going to be for a stage win, it's going to be now or never. The 24, the 15, heck, you even got the 20 of Cale Thorpe working his way up into a good position here. Oh, the 24 gets a little bit loose. He's going to go high. He's going to drop David Hartney down a spot. That was a tough one to call there. I don't know if Hartney won that stage. Oh, and they're wrecking at the end of the stage, too. No. Oh, no, it's a big one after the stage conclusion. That's never good. So let's see. That's the 5, the lap down of Sharn Hill there. Gets into the 1 of Cameron Craighead. And at that point, everyone else was just kind of in along for the ride. 43 tries to save it, overcorrects, and then it slides way up the track into the outside wall. Here's that last lap once again, a replay from the back half of the field as everyone else up front's kind of fighting for that stage win. The rest of the field in the background here gets all jumbled up. Wow. What a great save by Corey Bunch. Whoa! Kisses the wall a little bit. So it looks like David Hartney actually did in fact win that stage. It was hard to tell. I mean, it looked very close. See if we can find a different camera angle. Yeah, the 24 it looks like has it there. Yeah, the 24 actually looks to be your stage winner. So I don't know how that transpired there. 24 as stage 1 winner. And yet the 16 of Hartney is credited with the lead right now. So we'll need a little bit of clarification perhaps after the race officially who won stage, but from my perspective, it looks like the 24 was stage 1 winner here tonight. Pit stops are underway. And Parasini's going to come out first. Second, it's going to be Christopher Bishop. Third, Ryan Gomes. Fourth, Cale Thorpe. Fifth, Samuel Green. Sixth, Dana Ryan. Seventh, Vince Brent. Eighth, David Hartney. Ninth, Keith Resmondo. And 10th, Carlton Charles. As they still file out from the pit stalls here. And it looks like those that are still on pit road perhaps getting some damages fixed from that big wreck heading into the stage break here. Well, it was a pretty calm, cool, and calculated stage 1. But everything kind of boiled over the top once they were trying to get woed up to take the yellow for that stage break. And the back half of the field wadded up a lot of race cars here. And it looks like still on pit road, quite a few of them. I can see it looks like the 1 of Cameron Craighead, 72 of Matt Bands, 84 of Charles Stevens Jr., the 09 of Holden Wheeler. That's just to name a few that's still stuck on pit road there. And Bands now coming off. Craighead still spending some extensive time on pit road here. Holden Wheeler is just now exiting. And I want to say there is at least one repair, but I could be mistaken. Based on last year, I think there's at least one quick repair, so it's a great thing to have at Daytona, especially. Get a quick repair and get back into the show as quickly as possible. There we go. 1/4 of the way through the race once we take the green here on lap 25. 3/4 of the race still yet to go. Stage 1 winner, the 24 of Matt Parasini, is going to lead them in for the restart here. Christopher Bishop in second. Cale Thorpe, Ryan Gomes, and Samuel Green, your top 5. Kind of a tough break for Cameron Craighead. spending a little bit extra time on pit road, get those repairs done. He would, at least when it resets, just a little bit of aggravation there, but we keep the show going. So 2 cars, 1 lap down right now. Josh Hall and Garrett Walden trapped a lap down at the moment. Sharn Hill did get the lap back, but partially involved in starting that wreck. So he was up there to get his lap back, and then all things went haywire pretty quickly. So
green flag, green flag.
We're back and rolling. Matt Parasini, who's already led a lot of them here tonight, trying to maintain that lead and keep racking up the laps led here today. Christopher Bishop on the outside. He's getting loose. Oh, Christopher Bishop's going to lose it. Takes out the 55. And oh, man. That might be a big one. We thought the stage end wreck was a big one. I think this one might top that, unfortunately. Just got a little bit too excited on the outside there and lost control of it for Christopher Bishop. Great run going up until that point for the young rookie, looking to have a good race here today. So let us go ahead and find the replay footage here. So he loses it, slides up the track, and then when he comes back down, collects the 55 of Gomes. The 49 with nowhere to go, that's Dana Ryan in the Nutrien machine. Hartney's going to try to come through, and he gets hooked hard, spins into the outside wall. 15 still spinning, hitting the wall. Yeah, not as big of a wreck as I thought. It looks like maybe 4 or 5 cars truly involved in that one. Everyone else did a masterful job driving through it and avoiding as much of the damage that they could. A few of those that were involved, I feel like, probably still have their quick repairs, so they might be able to get back into this without losing too much ground. Yeah, I'd say about a 4 or 5 car wreck here on lap 26. Well, you can't say that they're not trying. They are out there. They're going to try to fight for all they got here tonight. And winning that season opener always tastes a little sweeter. The aggression definitely is ramped up a little bit extra here tonight. Everyone wants to have their name on the trophy at Daytona. One of those tracks that's just like, just historically, and the nostalgia and the history and everything, it's all about winning. And Daytona is one of those tracks that if you put your name on a trophy at Daytona, that means you've finally made it. So you can understand the aggression, the drive, the motivation to get a win here at this facility. And for Matt Parasini, it's kind of just trying to get back into flow of things after a month off from last season. He finished in the Final 4 as a contender for the championship. Thanks for the clarification in the comment section too. Well, leading them to the restart here for our, what would be our third restart. If you're counting the initial beginning and the stage break, the 2 starts before that, this will be heading into the restart for the 3rd time, resuming the race. And it's going to be Matt Parasini, Cale Thorpe, Samuel Green, and Ryan Gomes. Gomes, even though involved in that, was able to hold on. We'll see if that 55 machine's got any damage that's going to slow him up here, but doesn't look too bad from the camera perspective here. That 55 machine actually looks solid. Also in the top 5, you've got Vince Brent. And then you got Keith Resmondo in 6th, Carlton Charles. 7th, Jeffrey Goodpasser, Austin Fassett, Colin Hoffman, your top 10. And the rest of the field looks like we still got 25 cars on the lead lap. Those that were involved in this last wreck look like they took their pit services, and they're going to be back in the show here within the top 25. So we'll see if their cars still want to cooperate with them after the damages and everything that they had to go through there. It's always fun to see a new season get underway and see all the new paint schemes. All these paint schemes looking very fly here tonight. Definitely the 24 is always nailing it with the paint schemes. Last year was spectacular, and they've got themselves a good paint man in the booth to keep that number 24 machine looking slick. But the rest of the field pretty well painted up as well, and it's going to be fun to keep an eye on all these cars throughout the year. We're back and rolling here on lap 29. Matt Parasini on that inside line with the advantage. He's going to actually cut the door behind him on the outside line. The outside line dropping backwards. Ryan Gomes now still following in tow, but that outside line waking up again. Always fun to watch it ebb and flow. The 20, Cale Thorpe, goes to the lead here. Ada Samuel Green thought about quitting him there. Oh, and it's getting aggressive there in the top 5. See the bump in there, the number 9 of Resmondo. It could have got a little bit out of hand, but they kept it kosher at the moment. And it looks like some internet glitch latency between Cale Thorpe's car blinking, and that's kind of throwing everyone else off. Oh, going around the outside of Thorpe. That's going to be Samuel Green. Cale Thorpe dropping like a rock now as he gets stuck down the black hole center. You never want to go down the black hole. And just like that, he's outside the top 10. But here we go. It's getting very chaotic up front here. Green takes the lead. Resmondo now on the leading charge on the outside. And they just cannot get things sorted in the background there. They're slicing and dicing. They're acting like it's lap 99 of 100 instead of 31 of 100. Green leads the way as he cut down across Parasini. But Keith Resmondo going to the lead now. That 9 with a hard charge on the outside. Flying the colors of Sunoco on his number 9 machine. He's going to get the lead here for a while. But he ain't going to get a lap led, I don't think, because Jeffrey Goodpaster takes the lead from him at the line. That was Dirty Pool keeping him from leading a lap there. Worked with him all the way up to the front and just cut him loose. Daytona is one of those tracks where you either have to make friends or just fight desperately for your own life, because usually friends don't exist at Daytona very often. You might have a teammate out there. That might be your closest thing to a friend. But otherwise, everyone else is out for blood. They want to get that win just as bad as you do. But Resmondo not going to be denied. He gets a lap led here today on lap 32. So at the moment, your lead pack consists of 23 cars. And you've got a 3-car breakaway from the lead group all the way back there. And at least they got some drafting partners to work with, but your lead group definitely breaking away from those back 3. Jeffrey Goodpaster plus 20 spots here today. He had to come from 21st on the grid. And even further back, Colin Hoffman, who wasn't in any of the duels, he's sitting there in second. He's up plus 25. So he basically started dead into the field here today. A late last-minute entry after the duels, which you're allowed to do that here with the SCSRA Cup Series. You can miss the duel, but still have a chance to fight in the big dance here, the Daytona 250. But, of course, you've got to start way at the back of the field, which is the big downside, of course. And it seems like not much of a downside for Mr. Hoffman, who's already up to second there. Jeffrey Goodpaster leads a couple laps. And definitely a shakeup at the front of the field here. We're 15 laps short from the second stage of the night. And it looks like the 24 Parasini is going to attempt to go to the outside. We haven't seen him run the outside quite yet here tonight. So working along with a teammate of his, Vince Brent in the 92. Those two racing for Cypress Academy, of course. Because we lost the connection there when that happened. Figure out what happened there, but I think a couple drivers a little bit deeper in the field than they'd like to be, and no caution for that catastrophic 5-wide scenario. Going to be a lot of drivers looking forward to that stage break on lap 50 if we don't get a caution. But in the meanwhile, it is your Cypress Academy 1-2 with Matt Parasini and Vince Brent. I've noticed it seems like whenever I tab over to Discord is when the internet buffers, which is weird. Ah, man, I see some faces back in the field here that had to go way back. Cameron Craighead in the top 10. David Hartney also back into the top 10. They were able to avoid that wreck that forced Devin Butchino way back outside. What was once a 23-car lead field has now shrunk to about 12 cars. And with 12 laps left in the stage, of course, 12 cars fighting for that stage win. Also the 43 back in the mix here as well. Oh wait, no, he's a lap down. Garrett Walden was involved in that one wreck, and he's fighting to get his lap back, unfortunately. So right now would be in prime lucky dog position, except he might be 2 laps down because it shows that he's behind Josh Hall even in position. So he's going to need some lucky breaks here tonight to get back on that lead lap. Well, we got Cameron Craighead back to the lead now, kind of in a roundabout way. Had to drop all the way back, and here he is, leading with 9 laps left in the stage. Quite a few big movers throughout the field here today, at least at this point in time. You've got the 84 of Charles Stevens, who's up plus 15 spots here, currently running in 8th. And then Vince Brent, who's up plus 19, currently in the top 5, running 5th there. And then Jeffrey Goodpaster, who's up to 2nd. He's up a good plus 19 to the green. We, of course, have seen a few other drivers come further back in the field here today, but they got shuffled out at the moment. Leading it halfway doesn't mean a whole lot, but it's definitely promising to see them running this strong throughout the race here today. It's about the time where in the last stage it got a little bit wild, a little bit crazy. They're starting to figure out where they want to be to put themselves in a position to win the stage, heading towards lap 50. Matt Pericini back to the front. It's great to have a teammate as him and Vince Brent keep dancing at the front of the field here. We can deal with the minor hiccups as long as the broadcast is covered by about 90% of the broadcast coverage. It would be a real shame if we lost it right at the end of the stage, but I think we're settled in now after the buffer there. Should be able to watch the conclusion of this stage in its entirety. Kind of interesting, even though Garrett Walden's a lap down, he can sit up here and work with his teammates. That whole outside at the moment with Charles Stevens on the 4th in that outside row, that is all Cypress Academy at the moment. Matt Parasini leads, and his teammates right in tow behind him. Man, it's kind of crazy when you see the cars darting left and right. You think there's a wreck about to happen. No wrecks, just good racing so far here at the end of stage 2. And Jeffrey Goodpaster with a good push with the number 1 machine. That outside line pushing a little bit harder as Parasini gets a 2-car advantage on the inside. Oh, and he got a little bit loose there. 92 maybe getting a little too close to the back bumper. Pardon me. Well, if this is any indicator for how the race could end here tonight, from 97 to the finish, we could be in for a treat. Any one of these drivers in particular would be an exciting win for sure. And not to diminish anyone outside of the top 12 here, this whole field still very much alive. We got 23 cars. Once the stage caution comes here, should be back to the lead draft. This that one brief encounter midway through the stage that caused a bit of a kerfluffle, caused them to drop backwards and lose the lead draft here. So the end of stage will definitely help a lot of them. Doing a stellar job. The teammates working together here. Cypress Academy showing why they were Final Four caliber last year. They maybe want to try to back that up and show why they're Chase caliber this year. And the sheer strength to do it on the outside line like this, that is just impressive. Hard to do. Gutsy by all means, but what it's effectively doing is causing that that inside lane's advantage to kind of evaporate, because you got 4 cars working together on the outside that are very well accustomed to racing with each other. So if you're looking at it that way and you've got 4 cars working together, basically that inside line needs the 5th place driver to hook up a little bit tighter and get them to fight for the win of the stage here. Cameron Craighead gets an advantage. Parasini drops and gets lost in behind the number 60 as Jeffrey Goodpaster goes to the lead here, heading towards the stage end here on lap 50. Jeffrey Goodpaster goes back low right on front of the Cameron Craighead machine. Parasini's going to try to carry the momentum on the outside, and Craighead goes around the outside. Here comes Craighead to try and win stage number 2. I believe it.
Yellow flag.
I think the one of Craighead got that stage. So pole position, setting the fastest lap in the race, qualifying that was. And now stage winner on the night. So win stage 2 here. Matt Parasini, of course, won stage 1. And luckily for us, there was not a pile up heading into the stage caution here. So everyone comes through unscathed at the end of stage 2. And your stage winner, Cameron Craighead. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Hopefully you've enjoyed the race so far. Halfway through, halfway to go. It's been frantic. getting back into it, getting into the rhythm of everything. Hopefully I'm not flubbing it too badly. I'm gonna have to get a little bit more analysis on the teams and all that stuff, it seems, because there's a lot of new drivers, a lot of new faces, and that's the exciting part about it, is getting to learn all the new people that are part of the series. 27 cars, that's the most I have called in a field for an iRacing event yet, so I'm excited tonight, kind of marks a milestone on that behalf, that we got a big field of cars. This is probably the most exciting factor of it all, is getting to do all these new nuances and milestones, and just makes it worth all that much more. And for those that had gotten in that dust up during stage 2, Devin Butchino deep in the field, but looks like it might be saved. Let me try to see if I can find the replay of what happened for him while we're under caution here. Okay, so here was where it got 5 wide. And that's the 77 of Colin Hoffman, who dropped way out from the front. 5 wide. Eek. Yep, it was 5 wide for sure. Hoffman just bumps the 68 there of Devin Butchino, and he goes for a wild ride down onto the apron. That was the 23 of Carlton Charles that also got clipped there. And honestly, that was the extent of that. It did separate the group, the draft a little bit, and Butchino paid the biggest price by dropping all the way to the back. But here we are, back live. Pit stops already in and out. Coming out of the pits with the lead, Ryan Gomes. A masterful pit stop there. Gets that 55 machine to the top spot. Second place, it is Vince Brent. Third place, Jeffrey Goodpaster. Fourth place, David Hartney. Fifth place, Stage 2 winner, Cameron Craighead, drops back to 5th. Corey Bunch in 6th. Holden Wheeler in 7th. Matt Baines in 8th. Sharn Hill, who had fallen a lap down here today, bouncing back to a top 10 at the moment, currently in 9th, the number 5 machine. Charles Stevens Jr. Slots his way into 10th here with Samuel Green right behind him. Keith Resmondo, Ryan Hufford, Cale Thorpe, Nicholas Walthorne, Devin Butchino, Dana Ryan, BJ Holton, Christopher Bishop, even though he was part of a wreck here today, looks like he's going to have a shot to get back into it. Lauren Vincent right behind him. Matt Parasini, wow. From the front end of the field to the back end of the field. Must have had a pit stop penalty or something go awry. As 21st and making another trip down pit road here. Kind of makes me wonder if he's trying to get off strategy here, trying to change the game up a little bit. But very odd circumstances here for Matt Parasini, who is up front fighting for the win here. Now he's going to have to restart at the tail end of the field. Josh Hall and Austin Fassett round out your 23 lead drivers. Garrett Walden still trapped a lap down, but he could, he's getting into the longest line at the moment. And then Teddy Romanowski is a couple laps down too, it seems, as well as Carlton Charles, who was involved in that wreck with Devin Butchino. Alrighty, folks, no more stage breaks. Just straight up racing to the finish. 45 laps to go. We'll see if this thing can stay green or if we're going to have some more cautions to help kind of break up the pace of this race. Vince Brent gets the outside here for the restart as Ryan Gomes takes the inside line. Behind that, you got Jeffrey Goodpaster on the inside and David Hartney on the outside. I'm kind of partial and hopefully try to avoid bias here, but kind of partial to that number 16 machine because I was always a Greg Biffle fan growing up. And so I might be a little bit biased towards seeing that 16 machine in victory lane here. And I'll say it up front, I'm not afraid of being biased. That would be really cool. For me, it's the year of the Biff after all that went down last year. I was probably, I got to see him race at my home track the last 2 years. I got him to sign my diecast the last 2 years. So definitely it hit hard when we lost Greg Biffle. And kind of warms my heart a little bit seeing a Greg Biffle tribute scheme out there in the field here in the SCSRA Cup Series. But with that aside, obviously 44 laps, there's a lot of racing here, and there's no way to tell who's going to come out on top until all those laps are settled. Holding a steady wheel at the moment at the front of the field, it's Ryan Gomes, followed by Jeffrey Goodpaster, and your pole setter Cameron Craighead hanging in there ever solid. We're getting to the end of the race here, folks, and I slight hiccups. This happened last year with the Daytona race as well, so no surprise. It's just unfortunate, but I just got to keep hitting that reset button whenever we see a slight buffer in the internet there. Whoa, and here goes the number 1. He's going to try to get the lead, and they're wrecking. Oh, and that's going to be the big one here. Oh, boy. Well, I kind of wish this was NR 2003 because I would love to pause the racing action and watch this replay over and over again. But we're going to have to try and diagnose it pretty quickly on the fly here to what exactly happened. So it looks like the 60 of Jeffrey Goodpaster, probably one of the first ones involved here. Don't look like I have very many good angles of the cameras here. This might be our best shot here. So that's the 92 of Vince Brent that just kind of clips, just a bump draft gone wrong. And the 60 of Goodpaster gets spun out there as they all spin out across the front stretch. Also included in that was the 16 of David Hartney, the 02 of Corey Bunch, the 09 of Holden Wheeler, the 81 of Josh Hall. The 24 kind of skirts by there on the bottom. Matt Parasini goes through the grass, hits a bump in the grass there. Oh, and the 5 also involved. Sharn Hill's huge climb back through the field, unfortunately, comes to a bit of a halt here. We'll see if it ends his night. Probably not. He'll probably be able to get that thing fixed there. Also included was the 88 machine of Austin Fassett. That was kind of extracurricular there. The 5 was trying to avoid it. As you can see, he went down low to avoid the wreck ahead of him. You can see the 2 cars spinning there. Goodpaster. And these guys come flying through the grass. 5 just gets turned, heading into the grass, comes up and hits the 07 of Lauren Vincent. Then with nowhere to go, that 88 machine also comes in there and clips him a little bit. So we'll see after the dust settles here who's still in it and who's kind of roughed up out for the count. David Hartney spending some extra time on pit road. Josh Hall, Sharon Hill, Jeffrey Goodpaster, Carlton Charles coming back down pit road. He's laps down. But it looks like it might have claimed 4 for good here at least, or maybe a lap down. Charles Stevens Jr. looks to be the last car on the lead lap at the moment in 18th. Ryan Gomes, Cale Thorpe, Keith Resmondo, BJ Holton, and Matt Parasini, your top 5. Christopher Bishop hanging on solid with a great run here tonight. Matt Bands, always a threat at the super speedways. Cameron Craighead, your pole setter. Corey Bunch and Austin Fassett, your top 10. Lights are out on the pace car here with 40 laps to go. They're going to get doubled up for the restart. Few drivers decide to pit here on the way out to try and maybe tap it up on fuel a little bit. Looks like Sharon Hill's going to stay on the lead lap. Jeffrey Goodpaster, David Hartney, Josh Hall, and Carlton Charles all in the lead lap. Well, maybe Charles is a lap down here. Yeah, Charlton's a lap down. So that leaves us with 22 cars on the lead lap at the moment. Jeffrey Goodpaster, he's making another trip down pit road. That car looks like a modified now. It didn't stop Tyler Reddick when it came to Atlanta this year, so I even heard something about without that front fender, you actually get better downforce with the weird, strange aerodynamics of these next-gen cars. Oh, he did his quick repair. As you can see there, right then and there, it switched over with the quick repair. He's got a left front fender back on that 60 machine. He's going to have to hurry up and get back out there as they're getting ready to roll for the green flag. So he's going to be tail into the pace, barely on the lead lap. He might be gambling on a quick caution here to get him stacked back up with the leaders. But he's going to have to kick it into overdrive here. Well set in the field for the restart. It's Ryan Gomes and Cale Thorpe. Keith Resmondo in that second row with BJ Holton, Matt Parasini, and your dual winner from last night, Christopher Bishop.
Green flag, green flag.
We're back and rolling here at Daytona. Great start for Ryan Gomes, but the 9 of Resmondo wants to try and get around him here as quickly as he can. That outside lane has not really got dialed in yet, as Resmondo's going to drop back to 5th. And Matt Parasini right there in 2nd. And slotting his way into 3rd now, that is Matt Bands. Oh, and the 20 of Thorpe goes around. Race staying green at the moment. Track officials are now they're analyzing the situation, and they're going to sit on it. They're going to sit on the yellow flag and not use it here for that unfortunate break there for Cale Thorpe. Goes for a spin, and he's at the tail end of the field now. Wow, Jeffrey Goodpaster, even though he missed the restart, he's almost climbed his way back into the lead draft. He's still nowhere near the lead draft, but he's got himself a little bit more of a cushion now, as he shouldn't be worried about going a full lap down during this stint, that is. Ryan Gomes falls from grace here, dropping all the way back to 12. Mondo still using that outside lane, trying to get it dialed in here. That number 9 machine hasn't fallen too much further outside the top 5. Corey Bunch, that's the highest we've seen him all day, up into 3rd. Samuel Green, and then even 83 of Ryan Hufford. So quite the cast of characters that we haven't talked about all day. Matt Parasini, no stranger to the lead though today. He's led majority of the laps, probably has led most laps locked down here today at Daytona. But he's gonna have to defend a hard charging Matt Baines, a tough to beat Corey Bunch, and even Rismondo. Keith Rismondo could be a threat here, right down to the finish. Of course, we're going to have at least one more round of pit stops. There's no way they can make it to the finish on 36 lap run here without at least one more pit stop for fuel. All 20 of which have definitely had a good shot at leading laps or being towards the lead here today. It just goes to show you how stout this field is, stacked with competitors. Talent from one end of the field to the other. Lap 67, or as the generation of today, we're on 6-7. A little bit of blipping there from your 5th place driver. I want to say that was maybe Ryan Hufford. A little bit of latency issues there. Single file all the way through the top 10 though. That's wild. That outside line fell apart, and fell apart in a huge way. Still, the one guy leading that outside lane, it's Keith Rismondo. So he ain't giving up. Actually, he's staying diligent to the outside line, and he's gonna live and die by the outside line here today, as it could come back and it could pay off. But I'm starting to wonder if fuel mileage may be starting to factor in here a little bit. You've seen this before at super speedway races. We've seen it here at the SCSRA series before. At these super speedways, when they fall into single file, follow the leader affair like this, that means they're typically trying to meet fuel numbers. And at the moment, they're all just trying to race to find that next green flag pit stop if we don't get a caution. And so meeting those fuel numbers, very crucial here, as that last pit stop will be pivotal, potentially in the whole race if we don't get a caution. Now the outside lane starting to Oh, and they're wrecking hard there. We're on lap 69, and they're still not going to throw a caution for that. Ouch. So that's that was the cause for caution. Looks like, because his car is pointing backwards on the racetrack. It's just been a very tough day for Butchino. No doubt about it. And I don't think that was really his fault or anything that he did wrong there. If we follow along on the drone cam here, I like to call it, he got into the 88. And this kind of lasted all the way through turn 3 and turn 4. I don't know if the 88 actually retaliated there or what. It didn't look, yeah, it looked kind of bad. Austin Facet races for SGRD, and I would have to get a bit more clarification on the actual team name, but SGRD looks like they have about 4 cars in the field here tonight. Of course, the 68 of Butchino racing for Neon Racing. There's just a lot going on here. I feel like might have been some disagreements here on the racetrack. Butchino sticks his nose in there, tries to make the move. 88, though, cuts down on him. That's tough to say. He wasn't really holding his line, and then once those cars do get a little bit of contact, it's kind of like along for the ride at that point. You often see that with the overcorrection. The cars get a little bit wonky and hard to control. 68 was loose there. 88 looked like he was maybe getting loose too. Tough way to go. But no caution. I forgot, there was no caution on that. Everything stayed green. The officials very much sitting on their yellow flag here today. Not budging. If reset the stream if you don't have audio. I've had that problem with a couple people before. If you reset the stream, usually the audio comes back. And of course, I am a goers of the way remaining. The Daytona 250 almost in the books for season number 12. The Tammy Butchino Memorial Cup Series this year. Dev Sports Cards SCSRA Racing Series. It's been a great race here so far. We've seen a lot of battles at the front. We've seen some big gnarly wrecks, and also now we're seeing strategy. We're seeing fuel mileage kind of factor in to the last stint of the race here, as these drivers are trying to meet their numbers and figure out when to make that last round of pit stops. He's going to go another lap down here today. Cale Thorpe went from having a very solid car capable of contending for the win here today, but now he is just trying to hang on for dear life. This lead pack, 18 cars deep. That is your lead draft. 18 cars on the lead lap. Handful of cars still running out there, laps down, of course. Devin Butchino, though, looks like he's pulled off. Austin Fassett and Lauren Vincent also seem to be out of the race here today. I think Colin Hoffman is off the track too, but it looks like, yeah, he's off. So as they start trying to figure out when that window opens up for these leaders. Some of them at this point maybe hoping desperately for a caution so they don't have to make the pit stop under green circumstances here. They had prime opportunity twice now taken away from them. The officials did not want to give them that yellow, so I can prove with all certainty here today that Matt Pericini has in fact led the most laps. At this point, I don't think there's anyone else with laps led that could match his lap tally here tonight. That 24 machine is on a rail. But leading the most laps does not always convert into a win. So it's great and all having the laps led, but the win might be a little harder to come by. I definitely dig that Goodyear paint scheme. For whatever reason, I look at it and I think Blockbuster. The last Blockbuster in the world, of course, is in Bend, Oregon, still alive and kicking. But those colors for Goodyear definitely reminiscent of the colors from Blockbuster back in the day. So that's just kind of my 2 cents on the O2 car there. It's a really great looking paint scheme. For whatever reason, instead of it reminding me of Goodyear, it reminds me of Blockbuster, which is kind of funny. And you got 4 cars now a little bit separated from the rest of the draft. That leader in the second group there, Ryan Hufford, the 83 machine. Some true parity at the front here. We've got 2 Chevys, a Ford, and a Toyota for your top 4. And of course, a variation of teams as the 24 leads the race. That's Cypress Academy. Second, 72 of Matt Bands. That is Sentinel Motorsports. Third place, the 02. Corey Bunch racing under the Cypress Academy umbrella here today. And the number 8 of Samuel Green, racing for SGRD. 83 starting to close in on them here. Ryan Hufford. Ryan Hufford, I don't see. Oh, okay, for Hufford Racing, of course. So it's a owner driver in that 83 machine. Great run from him here tonight. Solidly in the top 5. But his pit stops are looming. That's going to dwell heavily on how this race actually unfolds. You want to be on your marks. You do not want to make a mistake for those last round of pit stops. If it's going to come under green flag circumstances like this, it's going to be hard. And definitely more mistakes can be made under those green flag pit stops. 18 laps to go. It's the Matt and Matt show as they are leading 1-2 right now. Matt Pericini over Matt Bands. Some series they might have the Ryan and Ryan show or the Dale and Dale show. But here tonight we've got the Matt and Matt show. Kind of interesting to see some of these folks in the top 10. You got Dana Ryan. Christopher Bishop hasn't gone anywhere. BJ Holt. Sharn Hill, after a tumultuous race, falling back, going a lap down, coming back up to the front, getting involved in another wreck, and still has a top 10 that he's holding on to right now. Holden Wheeler in 9th, and Vince Brent, or actually Holden Wheeler in 10th. Vince Brent in 11th, Charles Stevens Jr. Ryan Gomes had a great run going, but unfortunately it's kind of fallen off for him here at the end stage of the game. Looks like we have one taker down pit road. BJ Holt, a lone duck, hitting all by himself. That's going to be hard to get back out there and not have any drafting help. So the green flag pit stop window has kind of opened. I don't feel like that was the right move to make, but we'll see. Maybe BJ Holton will prove me wrong there. A very lonely pit road for sure, with the guy that was up in the top 10. Everyone else, they're going to have to sink or swim, and it looks like everyone's going to take the swim. Few drivers, wow, most of them, majority of the field pits here to get that last pit stop in the way. I guess the ones that stayed out were your lap traffic. So this is the entire 17 car field that had yet to pit. They all pitted right together. Oh, and Parasini's going to lose 2 spots on the exit of pit road. Matt Bands and Holden Wheeler both come out ahead. I would wager that Holden Wheeler probably took 2 tires here, because there's no way he could have gained 10 spots on a pit stop with 4 tires. So, has the advantage right now. We'll see if he can hold on to it. 15 laps to go. Group behind him, pretty much the crew that we've seen all day. Matt Bands, Matt Parasini, and Cameron Craighead. They're drafting into the picture now, closing that gap on the 09 machine. Yeah, it looks like about a 7-car grouping here for the lead. A little bit of separation throughout the field. Pit stops tend to do that. Not everyone had as well orchestrated of a pit stop as these 7 cars at the front. It looks like actually maybe 8 cars now in the front grouping. Matt Parasini gets shuffled up. So this also plays into it. Big factor too is the fact that the draft is completely different. You're working with different drivers, folks that may not have been in the top 5 here, drafting with you. You don't have to worry about gas now, which is a spectator's best dream, and even these drivers, because now they can go full throttle all the way to the finish. So best scenario unfolded here today. We're not going to have a fuel mileage race. We're going to have a full throttle race. "13 laps to go." It's crazy that we have not seen a caution in this last stage here yet. And of course, as soon as I mention that, I'll probably jinx it, and we'll probably see another caution. Just knowing my luck. But if we don't, looks like 8 cars very much alive for the drive here. Secondary pack, I don't think they're going to catch up to this lead 8 without a caution. Dana Ryan in fourth there. Great run from him. He had a very chaotic duel last week. Was involved in a couple wrecks. But proven today that maybe he's just in the wrong place at the wrong time, because here he is today at the right place in the right time with 12 laps to go. You aren't going to see too much aggression here with 10 laps to go, but it's definitely going to start ramping up. The moment these drivers just kind of biding their time, figuring out which line to work with, maybe which driver to cooperate with, just kind of waiting it out. They know they've got the fuel and the tires to carry them to the finish. They gotta work with everyone that's in this group so they don't get screwed out of a good position here today. Definitely feels like the calm before the storm. Single file, you wouldn't think that they're racing for the win. But each one of these drivers know what it takes to win here at Daytona. Gloves come off with about 5 laps to go. That's when it's going to be no holds barred. Everyone at everyone for the win. And you kind of see the 49 there, Dana Ryan trying to go outside to try and see if he could get someone to go with him. No one wants to cooperate at this moment. Honestly, the only way it's going to work is if you have pretty much maybe the back 6 all come outside at once, and leaving those 2 on the inside to just kind of flounder. Lap traffic's going to factor in here shortly. Usually they're pretty good, though. They'll probably pull over and let them by. Yep, pulls off the racetrack. No worries. But it's Holden Wheeler leading this thing for Sentinel Motorsports. Matt Band's a teammate to him. Sharn Hill, unfortunately, outside of this top 10. He's in 13th, so he's not going to get up there and duke it out with his teammates. But still a great run going here so far for these other 2 teammates leading the way. Eight laps to go, 8 drivers alive for the win. Second pack is very well formed up in the background. I could see them. If there was about 10 more laps, they could maybe get into this, but with 8 laps to go, I don't see that secondary group catching up. They're going to need a Hail Mary of sorts or a caution to get them back in the mix here. Well, in the Hail Mary, it could be in the form of a Fail Mary for this lead group. If it causes a big pileup, that secondary group's going to be far enough back that they could avoid it. Outside line trying to form up here. Leader of that second group is the 84 of Charles Stevens Jr., followed by Vince Brent, David Hartney, Sharn Hill, and Josh Hall. With a couple more groups paired back, it looks like actually Josh Hall's off the group with them. Nicholas Walthorn further back even. And then looks like a third group of Christopher Bishop, Ryan Gomes, and Keith Resmondo. So that secondary group, they're about 4 seconds back. They actually lost time that last lap. They were up to 3.5 laps to go here at Daytona. Someone's going to come out victorious. One of these 8 drivers Still impressed with Cameron Craighead. Pole position, stage win here today. And here he is with 5 laps to go, running in 3rd. He's got himself a solid #1 machine, capable of fighting for the win here today. 3 grouped right up to the front. They're going to get tight. They're bunching up like a slinky. Kind of calms down a little bit. The 1 loses some ground as your 2 leaders build a small gap to 3rd place. But for the 1 falling back, not a bad thing, because it can help him get in the draft with the folks behind him. Those 2 getting any form of an advantage could be a disadvantage here very quickly. If that other group gets formed up 6 deep, this is kind of what I was talking about. The only way it's really going to work for the outside line to form is if you have the back 6 quit the inside line altogether. And for Matt Bands, that might be being number 7 to try and go outside when they all drop to make the move. 3 laps to go. This is the most nerve-wracking part of the race, up to the last 3 laps. The drivers, every move you make has consequences. If you decide to go high, someone might slice and dice their way down low. If you decide to stay low, you might get freight trained on the outside. And if you sit where you're staying, you might get run over or wrecked. So it definitely ramps up the intensity here. Holden Wheeler, though, solidly leading all these laps at the end of the race, making it look easy up front here. But the toughest position to be is the leader on the white flag, because everyone behind you is going to want to just barrel roll right through you. Holden Wheeler got this lead on strategy, I think, taking 2 tires when everyone else took 4. He's holding that lead and not slowing down. 72 of Bands gives him a good shove. The more shoves they get, the further that 09 gets away from the draft, and the more likely someone else from the back could get the win. Outside line foreman, that's the 24 Parasini. And it looks like maybe with Corey Bunch on the outside, but it did not work out very well at all as they fall back in line 7th and 8th on the inside. 83 of Hufford trying to go outside now, so the outside starting to really wake up, but it's not going to be enough unless someone else decides to take that outside line here on the last lap. Final lap of the race, final 2 turns here at Daytona. Bands holds it on 2nd, and then you got Cameron Craighead in 3rd, Dana Ryan in 4th, and the rest of them just kind of floundering in the background. It's going to be, without much drama here, the 09. Holden Wheeler gets the job done here. Matt Bands was happy to just kind of sit 2nd. Oh, and a little bit of a love tap there at the end of the race. Don't know if that was intentional, but definitely a love tap. But there you have it, folks. Holden Wheeler gets the win here today. Strategy call. It was nice seeing them all race to the finish and not just wreck at the finish line. A good, solid win to start off the season. Holden Wheeler gets the job done for Sentinel Motorsports. Matt Bands brought it home 2nd. Cameron Craighead brought it home 3rd. Dana Ryan 4th, Samuel Green 5th, Matt Parasini, Ryan Hufford, and Corey Bunch were your lead group. Secondary group, you had Charles Stevens Jr. coming home 9th. The Biffle car brings it home 10th, a solid top 10 for David Hartney. Sharon Hill in 11th. Vince Brent 12th. Nicholas Walthorn 13th. Ryan Gomes 14th. Christopher Bishop Matching the car number on the door there, 15th for the 15. Josh Hall bringing it home 16th. Keith Rismondo bringing it home 17th. Jeffrey Goodpaster bringing it home 18th. Garrett Walden, not a very stellar day for the 43. He just tried to soldier on for all he had and brought it home 19th. So definitely a tough start to the season for the 43 machine. We're going to watch the 09 of Holden Wheeler here burn him down in celebration. Kind of the ceremonial half podium. I don't know if Cameron Craighead's going to come out there and join him. Looks like Craighead maybe already logged out. But there's your top two, Matt Bands and Holden Wheeler. And there's your finishing results from the bottom. Your top 18 here today. So, let's see if I can find Cameron Craighead. There we go, right there in the waiting room. We'll go ahead and interview our third place finisher here tonight. Okay, as I got all set up there, with third on the night here in the Daytona 250, let's go ahead and interview Cameron Craighead. Jacob in the booth. Do you copy, Cameron?
Yeah, I got copy, Jacob.
Well, how are you doing tonight? Great podium finish to start out the season. How are you feeling?
I'll be honest, I'm feeling a little disappointed. I know it's a good finish and it's a great way to start off the season, but I feel like so much more could have happened at the finish if just one person would have gone out and the top kind of died. And I didn't expect to win, but if Dana would have gone up, I feel like I definitely had a shot. So it stings a little, but I'm so happy that I finished the race. That's more than most people can say. And yeah, it's a pretty clean race out there.
Well, yeah, you had a pole position to start the week and a stage win here at stage 2 tonight. You're definitely wheeling that thing around. Look fast, look strong, and obviously just came up a little bit short here. Still a great podium finish here tonight. What is your plans for the rest of the season? What are you looking towards? Is it going to get you put off on the right start? How do the rest of the tracks line up with your skill set?
I'm not so sure. I haven't looked at the schedule, so I don't know what my skill range would be for the next few weeks. I'll definitely be up in the picture. Definitely just gonna get stage points. Just buy my time through the chase. I know I can make it, so I'm not too worried. I know I can just be consistent enough to make it, and then I'll start worrying about what we can do after that. But I'm just gonna try to get points, be consistent, finish races. I have an issue with I either do really good or I wreck, so I'm trying to change that by just staying up front and keeping my nose clean.
So is this your first season with the SCSRA? I'm not completely knowledged on the whole 11 seasons of racing prior. Is this your first season with them?
It is, but just in general, I'm pretty aggressive, so usually a bit reckless, but you know, I'm coming here and starting fresh, seeing what I can do.
Well, awesome. Yeah, I look forward to seeing what you got here for the rest of the year. Is there any friends, family, or sponsors you want to thank here tonight?
First off, I want to thank Jeffrey Goodpasture in the race. I'm not working with him or anything, but he did a hell of a job in that second stage to get me the win. I mean, we were pushing like crap on the bottom, and the bottom in these cars is just dead with the side drafting. He was able to make it work with a bit of help from the lap car. So I want to thank him for that. And of course, I got to thank my team: Jack Shack, Trevor Asmanoff, Wayne Velke, David Flanagan, a bunch of the guys. They're the best crew to hang out with, and um, yeah, they're always on my side. And I want to thank my family. I want to thank you for broadcasting tonight and all the promoters and admins who put this show on.
Yeah, thanks again for putting on one heck of a show here tonight. Look forward to seeing you for the next races going forward. Have a great night, and we'll see you in the next one.
See,
Well, after that, we've got second place, Matt Baines, that we're going to go ahead and dial up here for podium interviews. Coming home second tonight, it is Matt Baines. Do you copy, Matt?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, how about that for Daytona to start off the season? You had a great car. You were up there holding strong all night long. What was that little extra oomph that you would have needed here tonight to actually get that win?
Well, I kind of hurt myself in the pit stops. I just kind of slid through my box just barely enough to, guess, kind of set me back, and it hurt a little bit. But I mean, you know, teammate had a fantastic pit stop, and I hooked to his back bumper, and I was like, I'm not gonna get off you, and I was basically mirror driving for him. I was just looking back, just seeing if there were runs, and I was letting him know what was happening.
No, it was kind of a total team control moment at the front there with you two guys leading it, and yeah, no, it must have been two tire stop for Holden. Was it a two tire stop? I was kind of surprised to see him jump out there to the lead.
Well, funny enough, I think he just took. We all just took fuel. We had no tires, nothing, and I had 2 extra laps, and I think he ran out actually just after the line, so he took just enough,
Wow.
and it played just perfectly into our hands.
Well, that's like cutting it so close between you know the sheer the sheer line between victory or total like chaos at the end of the race there. If he would have run out on the backstretch, it could have got really wild. But fortunately for him, he had enough fuel. You had enough fuel to make to the finish here. How do you look forward to the rest of the season heading to Michigan and Rockingham next? What do you feel?
Feel great. It's a great it's a great way to start the season for both of us, and really for top five, relatively speaking. And those are two fast tracks. Rockingham's tight and all that, and Michigan's, you got the sweeping corner, and I'm pretty confident with that. And we're all going to work and just practice and get laps in, and just keep on going with the momentum.
Well, heck yeah. Is there any friends, family, or sponsors you want to thank here at the end of the night?
Yeah, I want to start with my family. My father's been tuning in almost every race for the last 1, 2, 3 weeks, and I want to thank them for all the support that they give me and all the help and all that. And I want to thank my partner, as always. Never-ending support from him, and just it's just amazing, just all the kind things he says and all the ways he helps me and all that. And I just couldn't thank him enough. And then just want to thank the team. I mean, I we had a couple great cars. I mean, Holden started near the back, and I was starting up front, and we found the speed get to the front several times, and we just held it, and they just gave us some great cars, man. And I'm just so lucky to be a part of the league, and just it's my first podium in SCSRA, so I'm buzzing right now. This was a lot of fun, and I can't wait for the rest of the season.
That's awesome. Glad we got to interview for your first ever podium finish here in the SCSRA Cup Series. So definitely enjoy this one, relish it, and hopefully there's many more to come.
Yes, sir. And once again, congrats to Holden.
Heck yeah. Good finish for the team there.
Yes, sir.
Have a great night. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll go ahead and hop on over to his teammate, number 09 machine of Holden Wheeler. Got the job done here. Ran it right to the very, very barren edge on fuel, it sounds like. We'll go ahead and ask him for his input on that. And Jacob in the booth, do you copy, Holden? Jacob in the booth, do you copy?
I got you.
Well, how about that? Came home with the win here tonight. Kind of shocked me, surprised me from that pit stop. I thought maybe you did something different. What exactly did you do there on that last pit stop that catapulted you from I think it was outside the top 5 to the lead of the race?
Well, I don't really know, to be honest. I was behind Sharn, and he was checking up early, and I blew past him. I didn't lock up my tires, but I kind of money shifted in a second and somehow didn't spin the tires, didn't hop the tires, and it got in there fine, got in my pit stop perfectly, got in my pit stall perfectly, and I don't even know how I came out in front of Matt. That was crazy to me.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a shocker. It kind of took me by surprise, and then all of a sudden you were up there duking it out with the drivers that had been leading all the laps here today. You really didn't lead any laps up until the finish there. So just kind of a lucky break, you feel, or was this a track that you kind of had some skills to show for too?
Well, I had zero confidence at Daytona. Drafting tracks, definitely not my favorite, but starting 31st, I thought maybe I could just ride in the back for a little bit in stage 1, which pretty much is what I did. And then just the end of that race there, Matt saved me. He stayed on my bumper the whole race. Even on that white flag lap, he didn't move from my bumper, and he really did make that happen. And I'm just very thankful for Matt.
Well, it's always awesome to see teammates work together. Kind of one of my topics during the race here tonight is come into a super speedway. Either you got, usually you don't have friends, but you do have teammates. And definitely teammates are the one you can count on when it comes to these restrictor plates. And it's cool that it played out here tonight where we actually... But other than that, if it wasn't for a teammate, you really don't have many friends when it comes down to the end of any of these races for a win. So it was cool and very, very solid performance for the team there. And yeah, is this your first career win in the SCSRA Cup Series?
It is. It is my first career win, and I'm very happy, and I hope more's to come.
Heck yeah. Well, is there any friends, family, or sponsors you want to thank here at the end of the night?
Well, I want to thank Sharn and Matt for keeping me alive there the last 15 laps. That was amazing, and I'm still speechless on that win.
Well, we got Michigan next, so we'll see you at Michigan, I assume, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, hopefully more to come. We look forward to the rest of the season with you, and definitely celebrate this one. It's the first of hopefully many.
Oh, yeah, we'll celebrate it. Thank you.
Yep, have a good one. Well, folks, that is a wrap here tonight. Congratulations to Holden Wheeler and Sentinel Motorsports on the win here tonight. 1-2 finish from the team. Cameron Craighead, your pole setter, Stage 2 winner, coming home third, and the rest of the field behind that. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. I very much enjoy the racing action here with the SCSRA Cup Series, and I look forward to the rest of the season to go. So, on to Michigan next week. Hopefully, all can tune in, and we'll be here for the call. So have a great night, everyone. Stay safe out